Hello and welcome to Steel Trenches. Thank you for subscribing and following the podcast on YouTube. This is our fifth episode. We've crossed over 800 views, and for long-term serious conversation, this steady growth matters. I appreciate it. Now today's episode is a little different. I'm doing this in two parts, simply because the rise of China over the last 25 years is too large and too dense to handle responsibly in one sitting. In the first part, I want to focus on how China built, how it thought about time, industry, and learning before the results became obvious. Let me get straight to the point. The point is the unfashionable virtue of patience. One of China's most underappreciated strengths has been patience. China did not leap into high technology. It did not begin with electric vehicles, renewable energy, or advanced manufacturing. It began with what others no longer wanted: dirty industries, low-margin industries, environmentally unfriendly industries, textiles, chemicals, assembly lines. China welcomed outsourced manufacturing from the West, not because it enjoyed pollution, but because it understood something fundamental. Industrial capability is learned, not declared. The tolerance was not ideological, it was instrumental. By hosting these industries, China learned processes, how machines behave at scale, how quality breaks down, how defects multiply, how costs are driven out through repetition. Many countries wanted the products without the processes. China wanted the processes even if it was dirty. It accepted pollution, congestion, and social dislocation as a tuition fee for industrial mastery. Now, let's move to electric vehicles. These are not cars, and they have a huge payoff. EVs are often discussed as cleaner cars. That misses the point. Electric vehicles are not an extension of the old automotive world. They are a break from it. They are a rupture. Once cars become batteries, power electronics, and software, the advantage shifts away from the traditional engine expertise towards manufacturing, scale, and electronics. China has clearly understood that very early. This is why EVs in China are not a niche or a lifestyle choice. They've crossed into the mainstream. In recent years, electric plug-in hybrid vehicles have accounted for around half of new car sales in China. This is not adoption. This is transition. And the consequences is profound. China is on track for its oil demand to peak in 2027. Not because of austerity, but because substitution is working. EVs are the visible outcome of decisions made decades earlier. Electricity and renewables have been the quiet foundation because EVs don't work without electricity. And this is one place where China has moved differently. China didn't just build renewable energy as a climate gesture, it built it as an industrial infrastructure. Today, China generates more electricity than the United States and the European Union combined. It dominates solar manufacturing globally. It has built wind, hydro, nuclear, and grid capacity at a scale that makes electrification possible across China and at scale. Electricity is the fuel of the new industrial era. EVs, factories, logistics, buildings, all of it run on power. China did not wait for demand to appear. It built supply first. Let me take you on a personal moment. That is pollution. I've been visiting China since 2002. I remember traveling through Hebei province in the early 2000s and quite literally choking in winter. The pollution was immediate and physical. I went back recently again in winter and saw blue skies. Now, I'm not claiming China has solved every environmental problem, but what is undeniable is this. Once the state decided pollution and energy were strategic issues, it treated them as engineering problems and applied scale. This is how China operates, not through persuasion, but through construction. The real turning point for China has been machinery. This shift matters enormously and is often overlooked. In the early 2000s, China imported machinery. Today, China manufactures it. This is not a footnote. Machinery is the backbone of industrial independence. If you can build the machines that build everything else, you control the pace of progress. China's industrial equipment now competes globally, often at significantly lower prices than European alternatives, and with improving reliability. This didn't happen because China skipped stages. It happened because China stayed in uncomfortable stages longer than others were willing to. And now the final is the coordination. This is where technocrats matter. China's system linked long-term national goals with local execution. Targets were set, progress was measured, delivery mattered. Technocrats, not slogans, drove the process. This wasn't inspirational, it was administrative. And that alignment between policy, capital, industry, and infrastructure explains far more about China's rise than ideology ever could. So let me pause here. In this first part, I've tried to establish the logic of China's rise. China welcomed dirty industries to master processes. It built manufacturing and electricity before chasing clean outcomes. EVs, renewables, and cleaner air are not the starting points, they are the result. In the next episode, I want to move from industry to integration. We look at infrastructure, especially high-speed rail, labor absorption, entrepreneurship, and what India can learn and cannot learn from China. That's where the conversation can become uncomfortable and but more relevant. Thank you for watching me on the steel trenches. Look forward to having you back next week. Stay safe. Thank you.